forgive me for bringing you back to life. I know now that it could never work between us. As much as we wanted to, it could never be. Not because you're a rabbit, but because you're black.
New season of Demon Slayer. More like Seaman Slayer. Because after having watched this, I no longer want to reproduce. That's a joke, by the way. I don't actually hate Demon Slayer. I just find almost every aspect of it, with the exception of the art and the animation, to be thoroughly mediocre. For some reason, it seems that proverbs like live, laugh, love really appeal to a lot of people. The anime equivalent of this would be something along the lines of the power of friendship. Bullshit that a lot of shonen dabble in, and I found some inspiration to make one myself. It goes something like this. Character development? What's that? Now it might come as a surprise to some people, but self-flattery is not an object which provides its host with useful things, like nutrition or material wealth, for that matter. The only useful thing this bullshit provides you with is a moss sign to put above your living room sofa as a warning for any to-be guests about the lack of intelligent life in their immediate presence. And maybe some tasty cookies and hot chocolate. And some healthy optimism.
I don't give a shit about who you think I ought to be. I don't give a shit about you don't like me person. I don't give a shit what you like. I'm doing what is best for me. I'm doing those things that make me happy. Those things that I think are positive for me. And that's what you need to say to anyone today who comes into your life trying to bring negative shit into your life. Tell them I don't give a shit. In fact, tell them if you're not feeding me, financing me, or fucking me, I just don't give a shit.
The show's writing is bad. But maybe I'm also just a miserable fucking goblin too. A hater, if you will. Oh, I'm happy that Minecraft got that 2023 anime adaptation that we were all clamoring for. I suppose that you can take the boy out of the Minecraft, but you can never really take the Minecraft out of the boy. I'm feeling some cognitive dissonance here between the emotional scenes and the Minecraft, you know? Maybe that wasn't the best directing choice. I haven't seen the first season of Tonikaku Kawaii, and I'm not planning to either. Not just because I don't have the time, but rather because it seems pretty boring. Also, why do they look so young? Up next on TLC, married at 14. Poor fucks. Maybe they're affected by dwarfism? Yeah, that's probably it. We're just gonna make that assumption and move on. After all, my mom taught me not to judge others based on their appearance. Yes.
Squeeze the nipples like you milk a cow. Pull up in the car that she can't pronounce. In the mouth you think she got a root canal.
I'm going into Hell's Paradise with high expectations. Mappa did a pretty good job with Chainsaw Man, although it wasn't perfect. And if this sucks, at least I know that I'll have a lot of pretty colors to look at. Okay, so get this. Mr. Tokyo Ghoul over here, a legendary shinobi referred to as the Hallow, is charged with treason because he wanted to leave his life as a killer behind and move on to cleaner paths with his wife. But the village leader doesn't like that because the Hallow is married to his daughter, so he sets him up and gets him sent to be executed. They try and kill him in various ways, but they all fail until this middling woman from a clan of soldiers is able to easily cut through his skin, because she is the first person in this province to ever sharpen their blade before using it. Magic? Something, Shogun's pardon. Something, elixir of life. Something, Paradise Island. But Benjamin, what do you think about this anime? It's Sugoi! Sugoi! Why the hip-hop beat though? Hi-hats and blaring trumpets? What the fuck? This ain't Samurai Champloo. This isn't what I came for. It's alright so far, I guess. Not much happened in the first 2 episodes and the characters are surprisingly generic. Try and guess which of these guys are gonna survive. This is like the all-time easiest game of Where's Waldo. I'm honestly a little bit disappointed. Although I am interested in seeing what kinds of Lovecraftian horrors hide in the dark crevices of the island. That will most likely be what makes or breaks the show for me. Speaking of Lovecraftian horrors, the second season of the highly anticipated smartphone isekai. They can't keep doing this shit. Okay, it's not acceptable. Isekais are such a cancer to this medium. You're even doing one about a vending machine now. A fucking vending machine. I actually checked. There are 13 confirmed isekai, excluding anything that is not a TV series, that have yet to air in 2023. And currently, there are 9 isekai airing this season alone. Please stop. I'm pretty sure everyone and their grandmother is sick of this genre at this point. Someone had to actually sit and animate this. Someone was paid to do this. Precious time in another human being's life was wasted on something this stupid. And I know that I'm not the first person to criticize the isekai genre. In fact, it's like an age-old tradition at this point. But I do genuinely detest most of the shows that get this label.
All of my bitches, they're rich, and they're rocking out rich. Yeah. Yeah. Rich, cash caught it, bitch. Rich, bitch, got a rich click. I'm sucking on the clit, she's sucking on the dick. Get that whole tip, told her buy some kicks. Oil and my teeth, hop up in the whip. Glacky in the whip. And I'm cocky, fucking on the fatty. She just wanna plap me, your bitch can't stop me. I'm riding in the Massey, this ain't even a Massey. Your bitch is like your auntie. Alright.
I wonder where they could have possibly taken inspiration from. What a mystery indeed. I remember when I was around 11 to 12 years old, and me and my parents were on a summer vacation to Florida on Anna Maria Island. Like every time we had traveled to Florida, it was unbearably humid. And if we weren't on the beach, we would be cooped up in the traditional Florida-style house we were renting, or in a hellish outlet, where my mom would peruse every clothing store, but never actually buy anything in them. What the fuck? But every once in a while, my dad would get sick of going to the beach for hours, and would instead cruise around with me to find interesting places on the Gulf Coast to explore. This was not one of those times, however. Instead, I'd convinced my dad to help me find a copy of Pokemon Fire Red. Foolishly, he agreed to do this. We must have spent at least 2 hours up and down the strip mall in Bradenton, frantically searching for a used copy before we found one in I think it was a GameStop. And it's one of those special memories I have of my dad, because I remember that he was always willing to do these kinds of things for me, even if he didn't have to. Anara Studio OLM has wrapped up the last episodes for Pokemon's age-defying protagonist, Ash Ketchum, and now that I've gotten to unload all of my emotional trauma onto everyone watching this video, I think it's appropriate that we acknowledge its successor. And there's really only one question that I need someone to answer for me at this point. When did Pokemon become an anime? No, really. I mean, it was always a Japanese franchise, but this feels very unlike what I grew up with. Not only is the art style completely different, but the tone has also drastically changed. I don't like the school setting either. I thought Pokemon was about the spirit of adventure, not about sitting in a classroom learning Year 5 mathematics. Imagine that instead of fighting Mewtwo, the first movie instead revolved around Ash studying for his finals. Not exactly very exciting, is it? Best Girl Edition! I have only watched the first season of The Parent Story, and that was pretty stupid, so hopefully this will also be equally, if not more stupid. With this in mind, I'm happy to inform you that this was indeed very stupid. I like it. You also don't have to watch The Parent Story to understand anything that's happening, because it's just an origin story. Miasho. This one also takes itself very lightly. My friend likes this one. What do you think about it, Ivar?
It's like Harry Potter, but if Harry Potter was One Punch Man, and all the wizards adopted Voldemort's ideology and killed off all the muggles to achieve pure blood supremacy. So all in all, a more family-friendly edition. Really. And there's cream puffs too, if that's your liking.
Finally, some real wish fulfillment. Take me back to the simpler times when I didn't have any bills to pay, no job I risked getting fired from, and no worries about my failing sex life. Back when I, a grown man, got reverted back to being a baby? Because some manga authors have really fucking weird fetishes. I mean, there's really no other reason for making something like this. Right? Aw, she's retarded. Same. Here's an interesting fact for you guys. Did you know that people who gravitate towards celebrity worship also tend to have below average IQs? You might think I just made that up out of thin air, but there's actually studies that indicate this. Not that this has anything to do with this scene in particular, I just wanted to point that out. I have my qualms about stories featuring rebirth video game mechanics. Every character always retains memories from their previous life from the jump, and then the character comments on it. Hey, isn't it weird how I maintain my old memories even though I am a baby? Ha 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 ha. Very fucking clever. Like to offer things that I'm too stupid to figure that out myself. Like, yeah, you wrote the story like that. It's not fucking funny. No, I'm just joking around. The first episode of the show was actually surprisingly good. The art, the pacing, and the humor were all well conceived, and really, any story where the main character is reborn as a baby that doesn't feature some degree of pedophilia is doing something right. I'm looking at you, Mushoku Tensei. Ugh. Why? Like, seriously. What the fuck? This one is genuinely hilarious. It's kinda like Nagatoro, but I think the humor here is superior. I just hope that it has more tricks up its sleeve, because a lot of shows like these become very one-note. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about this one, I don't think. The CGI. Is that really the establishing shot that we're going with? Okay then. Much better. Now that's what I call an environmentally friendly design. I see that all the neats have survived the apocalypse. One can only speculate as to how these goobers managed to avoid the extinction event. Mommy must have thought of everything. Not only did she provide them with a basement, but it must have been one of those nuclear-proof ones with stockpiles of Doritos and Mountain Dew, or whatever the Japanese equivalent of that is. So she drugged them and was about to feed them to the man-eater, which she believes to have assumed the consciousness of her child that it ate, but they wake up in time to avoid dying and proceed to fight it. She then tries to stop them from killing it, and it then proceeds to kill her. That's some really brutal stuff. Jesus. These two have just the right amount of mystery surrounding them for it to become intriguing. Why does she have this laser gun? Why are they looking for dollar store Spike Spiegel? What did this kid do to the monster, and how did he do it? What places will they visit on their journey, and what will happen when they reach their destination? I wouldn't say that them trekking through this post-apocalyptic world is calming per se, but it is strangely inviting, and the story can go so many different places. Even the art and the animation is good. The fight scenes are fluid as fuck. The landscapes are gorgeous, the character designs are cool, and the monsters are terrifying. This is probably the best anime so far this season. Just, det er til å onanere av. The art actually looks pretty good. Wait, the first season came out in 2017? So I was going to say a little more about this anime and explain why it didn't interest me, but I realized at some point that it's probably boring to hear me belabor about every show on this list. So I'll just say that I have, let's call it, an instinctive dislike for power fantasies that appeal to young men who dream about being Schindler's spiritual heirs. That is, if Schindler rescued Fots and not Jews, and did so with a questionable moral imperative.
私のユリはお仕事です。
Yuri is my job. Let's see here. So the director has been the showrunner on one real production before, which is called Wasteful Days of High School Girls. Okay. And he storyboarded and directed 2 separate episodes of Rail Wars. Okay. That's interesting. What else can we glean from this page? Oh, my favorite type of anime. Workplace. No, but really. This is super boring shit. If you just want to see cute girls doing cute things, then you can find a million shows doing it better than this one. I thought maybe I would be able to squeeze in at least one good joke, but in the end, it would be just like this anime. Gay, and without any spice.
どこへ行くのかしら？あなたも可愛い後輩として一緒に給仕するんでしょ？島君の言うこと真に受けない方がいいよ。ん？ほら、なんていうか。
Oh my god. What a fucking bitch. Oh snap. We just went from a show targeted almost entirely towards straight men over to a show targeted almost entirely towards straight women. Skip and Loafer is such a cute show too. It makes my heart melt just watching it. And the character dynamics at display here are actually relatively complex, at least compared to what I'm used to in most anime, and everyone's personalities feel well thought out too, which is how you know that the show was written by a woman. I just hope that it delves a little deeper into them over time, because my issue with these types of slice of life anime is that they oftentimes get stuck in character development limbo. I think this is because they're oftentimes conflict avoidant, which I hope won't be the case here, although I did get the impression that it was moving in that direction. Now I know that this type of anime isn't everyone's cup of tea. It is after all a show meant for young women, but I believe that if a 25-year-old balding dude can enjoy it, then so can almost anyone else too. Although I haven't watched the first season, I really want to now that I've gotten a small taste of what this anime has to offer. It's as if a picture book came to life, with all the magic and the colors bursting at the seams. It's the kind of thing that feels so light-hearted that I can just breathe out and take in the atmosphere without having to be too critical about the writing. Of course, it is rather ironic that I'm saying this while spending time writing about it in a script for a YouTube video. What? I don't have a joke this time, okay? Not everything is meant to be funny. I was just crying to some newchies while writing the script and I couldn't come up with anything humorous to say at this point. I'm in the mood for some emotional porn. Some jazz, maybe some Mac Miller, Joni Mitchell perhaps, I don't know. But I wanna end this video on a positive note. Not that the negative jokes about this medium aren't funny, because let's be honest, they are pretty funny, but it's important to maintain a balance with these kinds of things. This season was surprisingly good. And if we assume that Sturgeon's law holds, which I think it does, then it must be rare for there to be this many enjoyable anime in one season. Maybe you'll even hear from me in the summer too if I feel like it. This has been the Benga Reserve with your incompetent host Benjamin, and I'm still looking forward to seeing a decent ending for Snafu, as if that's ever going to happen.